obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
Good morning and welcome to Open Air on Atlantic Television Network. Open Air is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Today on Open Air, we'll look at these topics. First, Edo State. Thuggery Mars APC stakeholders meeting. Then on to Ebonyi State. Governors, predecessors fighting in many states, Senator Umahi says. And on Osun State, government APC bicker over rebranding bags of palliative rice. And then on to Ondo State. APC aspirants protest against Governor Ododo. Still on Ondo State, APC primaries continues today. And on Kano State, fresh word escos emerges, suspends Ganduje. And on NMPP, Kwakwanso's attempt to hijack party, a betrayal, founder Dr. Anie Bonham says. Do not go away. When we come back from this break, we'll continue with the show.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It's still Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Ugochukwu Ifeanyi Chukwu, a political analyst and a regular analyst on our show. Good morning, Mr. Ugochukwu. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
Good morning, Choma, and good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, River State. It's a welcome to a brand new day, Sunday, and we'll continue to talk Nigeria. I hope it gets better.
Hopefully. Saturday at a meeting of stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress in Ipoba, Oka local government area in Edo State, the well-attended strategic meeting ahead of the April 24 commencement of campaigns and September 21, 2024 governorship election was hosted at the private residence of Ipoba, Oka, LGA's apex leader of APC, Ehiozowa Abonyanima, a former governorship aspirant of Dumez Sapele Road, Benin. It was reported that shortly after the commencement of the meeting, many hoodlums and thugs invaded the venue and injured some APC leaders and members. Some of them are said to be on danger list in hospitals in Benin, while many expensive vehicles were vandalized and other valuables scattered away by the hoodlums. Speaking to the reporters, the APC chieftain, Abonaima, said, "This is not how politics should be played. Going violent and beating up elderly persons are condemnable. My teaming supporters and I cannot be intimidated. We are marching forward and God willing, victory is sure for Edo APC and its governorship candidate." Mr. Ugochukwu, what is your take on this sad turn of events in the APC, at the APC stakeholder meeting in Edo State?
Choma, before I dive into the Edo State thuggery and the real nature of Nigerian politics. Let me, on a national television, let me use ATN to, commiserate with people of the Southeast, the people of Anambra State, the Ezife family, and the Ohanes Ndibo, to that, and the demise and the laying to rest of our foremost leader, the former governor of Old Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuma Ezife, who was laid to rest yesterday. We pray God to grant his family solace, and also to give the new generation leaders that kind of spirit to speak truth to power, to stand for what is right, and always, speak out when the larger majority is being marginalized. I think he stood out as one of those I saw. There's one of his books I read. He said, it is better that Nigeria gets together than pulling aside. So, what is happening in Edo State, I think so, Edo State and the APC, this is the real Nigerian politics. It is not far from what we normally see in Nigeria. It is not new. It is not news. It's expected, especially when the definition of politics and democracy in Nigeria is no longer of the interest of the populace. It's now for the interest of the person. Winner takes it all, like the former President Goodluck Jonathan said. If you come to a society, politics is a game. It's a very interesting game that you are, when you're playing the game, your strategies and the way when you present yourself, the way people accept you, that is what makes politicians, big. That's what makes some of us call them the Maradonas, tacticians and all whatnot. But when you come and be, just stakeholders meeting to try to strategize and look forward to the forthcoming election in Ondo State on the 21st of September. And it's been invaded by talks. I will not be surprised if you hear tomorrow that those talks are being sponsored by the PDP. And APC...
You're not making an allegation.
No, that is what it is. No, once they cannot lay their hands on the people, this just... it just took place. And for what has happened, we know, after the APC primaries, there have been reconciliations.
Yes.
Fences have been mended. Politicians have been settled with, who gets what when we get to power. That is what we see in Nigeria. Before the elections are done, the positions and the who gets what has already been shared. So you see even people who were hitherto at daggers drawn, begin to support the man who has emerged because promises has been made to them. So you see them and their camp pledging to work with the flag bearer of the party.
But don't you think that a PDP in Edo State right now, they have their hands full?
No, I'm not saying...
internal crisis. So when you say there might be allegations around that, conspiracy theories around PDP sponsoring this thuggery in APC stakeholder meeting, you would wonder how would PDP do that when already within themselves internally they are still grappling with the crisis in their party as a fallout of the Aguba primaries and secondly
the impeachment
of Shaibu.
No,
like it or not, it has effects
yes.
on the overall performance of PDP in Edo State.
You're not far from the truth, but this is politics. This is Nigerian politics. I said we will not be surprised tomorrow if we hear that these particular talks were sponsored to disrupt an APC strategic meeting. You know, why I'm saying that is this. APC, for me, in Edo State, has achieved a milestone. They are more organized, or so they seem to be, because they put together, immediately after the primaries, there was a lot of interest, there was a lot of divisions here and there, but they quickly, through the instrumentality of Adam, the charismatic Adam Soshomole, they put together. So I was shocked when I heard about the disruption of their meeting, knowing that they are singing the same song, the same chorus. They don't even have different parts. Maybe all of them are singing bars or auto.
Okay, that's why
that's why I
said
saying
yes. External
I didn't say there is. I say that
be.
APC themselves. Let us not come out tomorrow, because from the statement the party leader has made, it seems that he's coming from within.
Okay.
You understand? From going by the expose and the statement he made, and from what they saw played out, they have not pointed accusing fingers on anyone. But what I'm saying is that in the nature of the Nigerian politics, let us not hear tomorrow that those hoodlums are being sponsored by another party. Let me not say PDP. To disrupt, because this is a chess game. In any way you can distract your opponent, you are gaining ground.
Okay.
That is what it is. So this distraction now, instead of APC going forward to continue to strategize, you see their strategy have been punctured. Their intention have been punctured. So they want to find out, is there anyone that is still aggrieved? Is there where we have not done well? Is there somebody that needs to be pacified? This is where those questions will be will start coming out. Because for what we have known in the last 3 weeks, we thought that it is Uhuru for the APC. Right, you know, they are poised to go to the battlefield, so to say, and slug it out with a PDP whose house is in disarray. We have not even heard that PDP has even started the reconciliation, because even the Shaibu scenario, they're using it to, the APC using it to distract PDP. Because we don't know, like I have posited here that any party that Shaibu happens to align with now, we carry the day. Because he is a grassroots man. Yes, he's a grassroots man, and that's why I keep calling on. I don't know. You had the open letter that one Reverend Father wrote to Basiki few Sundays ago, and saying that why this at this time? Because Shaibu is among the making of the second tenor, even the first tenor of Obaseki, because they were working he was working hand in glove with his uncle, Adam Soshomole. So this is it. And for APC to be having this kind of crisis, I never expected it to come from their camp. But let them do an in-house check. Let them, you know, come together, and let it not be something that will divide them the more.
Right.
Rather, let the voices of Shomole, I know from Abuja, from tomorrow, meetings will be called. And I don't see this as enough distraction to, you know, put APC off balance in the fight that is ahead in Edo State.
But could this be a possible pointer to what may pan out in the elections in Edo State, the Guba elections?
The elections.
Could this be a pointer, yes, to the elections proper?
Edo State have not been a flashpoint, as we have seen during elections in Nigeria, whether it's presidential or governorship. But we know there is always a vested interest. But once that vested interest is settled before the gubernatorial election proper, You don't hear about Togre, you don't hear about people about to kill people, or people coming to tamper with the ballot boxes. Remember what happened in the second tenure prior to the second tenure of Basiki? You know, APC was having it to Uhuru. They were coasting home with victory. But what happened? At a split second, you saw that Edo people now came out and said Edo is not Lagos because people were meddling. There were people who feel they are the godfathers, that they can interfere. And they are now, even there was an allegation that even Obaseki was not an Edo man. You know, all those kind of political jargons and political defamatory of characters and personality that went off. But Edo people stood their ground. You didn't hear about violence because the people agreed. So I believe strongly that if the people of Edo State has strayed and examined what Obaseki has achieved, the only thing that is really puncturing the chances of PDP now is the ouster of Shaibu because of his own foot soldiers. And the youths are with him. You know, he has been, I have told you here that he has been the show boy of this administration.
And also not forgetting that the obedience faction of the LP has also declared support for the APC candidates.
Yes, they will.
So
they have.
If they have put their weight behind APC right now in Edo State, and now Shaibu, on the other hand, is a party member, a PDP member, who has strong following and has issues with PDP. Already, do you see the ranks and files of PDP right now, you know, being destroyed? Do you? Because at the end of the day, it's politics. They say it's a game of interest. Do you see Shaibu pitching his tent with APC in the?
He has already done that by proxy. He has done that by proxy, because if you had the chairman of APC last week saying that Shaibu, this is your home, you helped him building, that you are.
So they are extending an
they have given him an open just for him to step in, but I don't see him aligning with them openly within this shortest possible time. But I am seeing him playing to the gallery.
And probably,
you know, fascinating with APC, with his foot soldiers, because we had it in River State when the former governor, Yeson Wike, said that I will tell you people where you vote. We will come and make a national statement. In fact, when the time comes, people were waiting for Yeson Wike to speak. But being the political juggernaut of our time, being the Maradona in the present Nigerian politics of our time, I mean Barrister Ezenwonye Sonwike of our time, Nigerians, even PDP, were waiting by the wings to catch him for anti-party activity. That's why even till today, you cannot pinpoint where Sonwike has made an anti-party statement or played an anti-party politics, because he said we will, in all fora he went, he said when the time comes, have the time not come, the time has come and gone, and the man has done what is in his mind. And the thing, that is where politics is local. Politics is when you have the people that listens to you, that even when you breathe, by your body language, they know where you're going to. So the world and Nigeria, we are waiting when Wike will come out and say we are following Obi and we are going to vote for Tinubu. He never made the statement, but at the end of the day, his body language spoke. Where his mind, where he has thrown his heart, was where his mind was all through. So that is what Shaibu, the position Shaibu will assume. He will not come out within this specific time, because remember, he has cross-carpeted. Even at the time, APC needed him most. Because if he had stayed put with his uncle, Adam Soshomole, believe you me that Obaseki would have failed. Right. But as soon as he said that I will sink or I will stay afloat with you. He went, and he is somebody like Nyesom Wike who will tell you that I am with you in the morning. Leave him and go to go for any of your functions or go to office and come back. You come there, he's still sitting there and waiting for you. So once Shaibu said, I am going to do this, when he told his principal that he was going to run, that he's interested, he knew what will befall him. He knew that he was racing against the coast. But it didn't deter him. These are the men that we would like to associate with. Those who will come out, just like I just eulogized the letters Ife. These are the men who have integrity. Integrity is not when you come out and broadcast that you have integrity. We know people of integrity when you discuss something with them and when you tell them, this is what I want in the morning. When you wake up, before you wake up by 6 a.m., they are by your bedside. This is the type of Shaibu and the Nyesom Wike of our time. So Shaibu is going to paint tent with APC because Labour Party, their primary was shrouded in controversy. And you have seen that the obedient movement has divided. So he cannot go and hibernate with them. That will be a political suicide for Shaibu. Right. So Shaibu will rather go where he will be relevant tomorrow. At least, if for nothing's sake, he might not be a commissioner, but he will be repositioned for a federal appointment where his voice and his input will play a major role for Tinubu come 2027. And
hopefully he's able to mend fences with Adam Soshomole.
No, he has already. He has. That's politics. He's only to, the Yorubas and the Dos have the same culture. It's only to go and dobale for his senior brother, and that will be all.
All right. Immediate past Ebonyi State Governor, Senator David Umahi, says he is happy that his successor, Governor Francis Nwifuru, still honors him after leaving office. Umahi said this while speaking with newsmen after being conferred with an honorary doctorate degree by the Ebonyi State University on Saturday in Abakaliki. Umahi, Minister of Works, said it was not common to hand over to a successor and still be continually honored by him. He said that this is the handwork of God, and I am grateful to him and the governor. Governors and their predecessors are fighting in many states, but in Ebonyi, we are always celebrating. This is the mercy of God and the wisdom bestowed on the governor, he said. The minister commended Nwifuru for sowing the seed of peace in the state and assured that such would be sustained. You can see that the state is on a steady rise, and what I could not finish as David, he is doing as Solomon. He is my son, in whom I am well pleased, he said. Now, what he could not finish as David, Nwifuru is the proverbial Solomon right now in Ebonyi State. What do you make of the statement of Senator Umahi over governors and their predecessors fighting in many states? What do you think of that statement?
In as much as I don't have any problems with somebody being a godfather or somebody being a mentor. In Nigeria, they manufacture a lot of words. They manufacture a lot of words to deceive the people, especially in the political space. If you say a godfather is like a mentor, it's like a role model, like somebody who is leading the torch and you follow. So there is nothing wrong with it. But if you come to be singing it as if it's a verse of a song that you're trying to teach your new choir members, I have a serious problem with that, because David Umahi can go about saying about this because of he played with wisdom. You know that it was in Ebonyi State that this fallout between predecessor and successors started brewing. When he resigned from the Senate and opted to go for the ministerial appointment, you know, in Nigeria they call them super ministers. So to go and assume a super ministerial position in the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration, he wanted his own brother. You know, I continue to tell you that in Nigeria, politics in Nigeria has a different definition altogether. It's about personal interest, meism, me, I, and myself. You know, when you come to philosophical terms, they say it's meism. So you left the place because you see what happened in Enugu prior to the election, to the national elections. The senatorial candidate for Enugu State, one of the zones there, was gruesomely murdered. And his brother, LP, the one that wanted to vie under LP, died, and his brother was to replace him, of course, of which he later won. You could also see what happened when Chubo Kadibo died. The PDP then used the wife to replace him. I think it was also something like that happened during one of the Seki boys died in River State. Something like that I wanted to play out, but I can't really remember how it finished. So he himself was living for a greater official call. He wanted his brother to step into his shoes, as if no other person, no other political member of PDP who followed him to place him in this national pedestal that he is today. Remember, Umahi was of PDP, and when he was, you know, he wanted more for his state. Remember, his state is one of those states that were disenfranchised, and their IGR was nothing to write home about. Their state allocation was nothing to write home about. He ought it wise to be in the mainstream of Nigerian politics. And what do they call that? Is to cross-carpet to the ruling APC, where he will have more access to Mr. President, former Muhammadu Buhari. That was the game he played, and it paid off, because you could see the infrastructure development, all the things he did in his state. And the President, Muhammadu Buhari, former, was always there to commission projects, and he delivered. If Nigeria were to be in a state where productivity and your handwork and what you stand for, you know, gives you the position you occupy. I think it was between Wike, as I analyze it then, and Omai, and Zulum, including the governor of Lagos State. 4 of them, bring them out, let Nigerians speak. These are the people who came, who saw, and they left footprints on the sands of time. You know, revolutionized development in their state. I interfaced with a lot of my friends from Ebonyi State. The Abakaleke Ebonyi State division came live on stream, where you could see the performance of David Umahi then. So these are some of the things that played out during his tenure. And immediately he brought Francis. Nobody could cough, because they wanted a continuation of that trajectory in the development. I relate what the revolutionary he carried out in Ebonyi State to that of which Donald Duke did in Cross River State then, and what Akpabio came to do in Akwa Ibom State. These were the states we don't reckon with in Nigeria. We are not daft. If Nigerians, they say, are quick to forget history, I am not part of it. You know, when Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, and the Ebonyi State were being taunted, even among the Southeast states, nobody reckons. Then when you even say that time they had, they created this Ebonyi State University then, who was going there? But immediately Umahi entered, there was a revolution. People, it became a mecca of sorts. You could see the progressive development. So him saying that his godson, who is the present governor, is honoring him, is because he played with wisdom, because he had a disagreement, a sharp disagreement with his godson. When he wanted his brother to take his ticket and go back to the Senate, the governor, this one that he's saying now, he's just, saying it because he thinks that maybe that little thing that happened that time did not filter out in the media, or we don't have the facts. We have the facts. So the governor resisted him with the party ESCO, that it is not only in Umahi's family that you have people that can go and represent Ebonyi State. And when the heat came, he saw it that he could lose out. He quietly, rescued himself. That is why he could come out today and begin to brag. So who is he talking about? Is he talking about the Nyesom Wike and the Simila Efobra issue? This is a completely different scenario. Then the Wike and the Obasani and the Erufai is what he should be talking about. The fallout was what people never expected, given how the man, Obasani of today, who was a senator, who had a voice, whom Erufai used in replacing Sheikh Husani, went to Abuja and was playing the good boy for Erufai to bring him. Erufai, he has his own plans. But in the case of Wike and Simila Efobara, it was not the case. Because Wike was the person who single-handedly fought through. But in Ebonyi State, David Umahi will not tell me, because you know that Wike, Nyesom Wike, put his leg in Ebonyi State. That was what led to his, you know that there was a time Umahi came here, came to visit Wike. He paid Wike a Nicodemus visit. We know that. So that is when Wike paid out for him, because Wike has already thrown his heart into the ring in Ebonyi State, that Ebonyi State will come back to PDP. You know it. So why will he come and he's telling us that I don't believe in what he has said? Because even till today, the fences between Fubara and the Wike is mendable, because it's a political solution, but his own was purely a family affair. He wanted to make APC in Ebonyi State a stooge to the Umahi's family, and which Wike never did. Is there anybody in Wike's family, as powerful as he was, as powerful as he is now, is there anybody that was entering Wike? Or does it mean that they don't have people, or even his wife could be repositioned today? We have seen people now in power. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in power and left, and he projected his wife, a three-term senator. So Wike could have done it. But Wike played a more holistic role, and he was open-minded. Let this thing go round. Let it be that, when you want to call yourself a father, you will father people that are not your biological children. That is when people call you a mother. That's why the Igbo people call people Nne-Oha. Nora is not only a mother to her own biological children.
So it is a purely a case of Umahi could not use this to be taunting Wike, because I am telling you that this is a poke in Wike's eye. It's not far from the truth, because we knew the banter they had prior to the election when they were talking about flyovers. Yes. So he is using it because Wike has gone to PDP NEC meeting. Wike has not appeared in APC NEC meeting. So Wike is a bona fide, has shown them that he has the capacity working for, because all of them are thinking that Wike will come into APC. But till today, he has disappointed them. So I am saying emphatically that David Umahi calling Francis Solomon is not, the case is taunting the FCT minister, and this is not the case. It's purely a different case. It started in his own kitchen. I mean David Umahi.
All right, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at government APC bickering over rebranding of bags of palliative rice in Osun State. Do not go away.
No matter how tough the challenge.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
You condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
nobody's ambition is
economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. There are POS operators. She said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Thank you for staying with us. A still open conversation on Atlantic Television Network. The Osun State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has accused Governor Ademola Adeleke of rebranding bags of rice, palliatives sent by the federal government to the Osun State government to deceive the general public. The party, which made the allegations in two separate releases signed by APC chairman in the state, Tajuddin Lawal, said Adeleke was breaching a vital part of the constitution by presenting himself as both Muslim and Christian. Although Lawal noted that Adeleke has the right to be a Christian, a Muslim, or an atheist, but said claiming to be combining all the faiths was a fraudulent act. On the food items given to the state by the federal government, Lawal said credible sources confirmed to him that two trailers loaded with bags of rice branded in the name of the federal government of Nigeria were offloaded at the state secretariat, Abere, and were being rebranded to Osun State government. Reacting to the allegations on Saturday, the Osun State chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Sunday Bisi, and the State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolabo Alimi, both exonerated the governor of any wrongdoing. Bisi, who said APC has run out of ideas by demanding the governor's religious affiliation, added that the opposition party in Osun has become too overwhelmed to craft appropriate strategies to respond to the PDP government's good performance in office. He said, the Osun APC left a legacy of squandermania and destruction of state assets. The former administration virtually left the state in ruins across all sectors. Osun people mandated Governor Adeleke to rebuild the state and put it on a pedestal of sustainable growth and development. That is the mandate of the Osun people to Mr. Governor, and he's fulfilling those obligations. The people of Osun State are also following up with the administration. The people see and appreciate the rebuilding efforts. Our people want good governance. They want an upgrade of state infrastructure, good schools, better health access, food availability, and environment for job creation and security of lives and properties. They care less about your religion. Voters want good governance, and Mr. Governor is delivering. Reacting in a similar vein to the allegations bordering on palliative, Alimi said the administration was not rebranding bags of rice received from the federal government and challenged APC to visit Osun State stores to check the consignment so far received from the federal government. He further said, there is no truth in the allegation. The release from the APC is another manifestation of the opposition's desperation. The federal rice palliatives are just coming into the state and none of it was rebagged. The delivery is still ongoing and they are in safekeeping as they are delivered. The government has already activated its structure for the sharing of the federal palliative to reach all strata of society. The government, however, deemed the supply from the central government insufficient, hence its decision to buy more trucks of rice for distribution to the population. Rice purchased by the state which is also being delivered are, however, branded, and they are also due for sharing very soon. What is branded at the state's rice, not federal palliative, the delivery of which is still ongoing? Now, Mr. Ugochukwu, what do you think of this back and forth between the APC, PDP, and Osun State government over federal government palliative rice?
You know, Choma, the Nigerian state, our politicians, they don't know when to draw the thin line, you know, between politics, politicking, and governance. You know, when you want to face governance, these are not the kind of things I see to be causing a hue and cry. But APC, being who they are, I told you here severally that APC, if it's, they don't even know when they are opposition and when they are the ruling party. You could see what happened in Muhammadu Buhari's administration when the blame game continued for 8 years. So APC is better and poised as an opposition party. And you could see some of the states that have been taken away from them, they are playing the opposition rightly. So they don't even give the governor or the ruling party a breathing space. You could see, if not the outbursts, when you bring it home, if not the outbursts, or maybe the show of energetic momentum that Seminary Fubara has shown in Rivers State a few weeks ago. You know how he has been held to the jugular by the APC in Rivers State. You know, always, you know, pricking him and poking him here and there and checkmating his excesses and his administration. This is what APC is known for. So when they talk about palliatives, is Nigeria still not tired of this palliative of a thing? I don't see anything in this palliative they're talking about. Do you know the reason? When did President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remove fuel subsidy? When was the committee set up by the federal government to facilitate and liaise with Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC, and in Paraventure also reaching out to the larger Nigerian populace, and also the state governors met in a state council meeting, and they took a decision on how to cushion this effect. Are you sure that Nigerians of today have not braced up and has not come to terms with whatever policy the Tinubu administration has thrown at them as it concerns removal of fuel subsidy and the hardship thereto? The federal government should not be wasting their time, you know, wasting their money, wasting Nigerian resources that we need infrastructural development. We need industries in this country. We need massive employment. Even the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police, all the paramilitary agencies in Nigeria are crying for a shortage of manpower, given the rise in crime. But the government, who through the Nigerian Senate, do not hesitate in creating what do you call it, universities and giving licenses and all that. I even heard that they are talking about 32 more federal universities. I read it last week from the Senate. So after turning out graduates, Nigeria is not lacking in natural resources than God has used in blessing this country. After Congo, that could not conduct the election a few years ago, that they didn't have money. Nigeria is among the countries that God blessed with all the abundant natural resources you could find anywhere in the world. Nigerian citizens are not daft. They are making their mark all over the world. Nigerians at home are doing exploits, but there is no field for them to practice. ICT in Nigeria, you know, going technologically wise, the federal government is not saying anything about it. All these monies, as I always posit here, Choma, that I'm not a fan of palliative, because from the Muhammad al-Buhari's administration, we got the trader money that a vice president of a country was carrying money, cap in hand, and was given to people in the market square, and said that the government is giving out money to sustain and cushion people's poverty. And you're giving them paltry sum for them to feed. After feeding that day, what happens? But we have a dictum that said, teach me how to fish, don't give me fish. But in Nigeria, it is not. Hence, there is fish already. We'll continue to fish and give you. Look at our agricultural sector. That when Peter Obi was going around making his campaigns, he made us understand that Nigeria, one state in Nigeria can feed this nation, and we can use the excess we will get to do export and to maximize our foreign exchange and income. We have arable lands lying fallow. The ones they are talking about, the ones happening, our waterways, all the natural resources we have in the waterways are left in the hands of individuals, and politicians, they use it to settle. It was during Muhammad Buhari's administration that we had that you could have a dry port. But all those things, administrations have come and gone, we don't see. I don't talk about palliative, because for me, it makes no sense. The federal palliative they're talking about in Ondo State now, is it not the one that they shared in River State how many months ago? And it was on this show I told you that every household, not one person, got 2 cups of tomato, cups of rice, without any additional, maybe 2 cups of maggi or 1 sachet of tomato paste. It is the federal government of Nigeria that you're talking about. These monies, the federal government, can't you channel it to agriculture if we cannot? If, you know, building industries will take us time and a chunk amount of the resources that you people siphon. Instead of, you know, always, it was here during the Muhammad Buhari's administration that Nigeria gave about 5 Hilux van to Niger. Or which country for elections. We continue to play the Big Brother Africa. But go to the local governments from where Muhammad Buhari came from. There is no tractor. We are still, Nigerians are still undergoing the cave age way of farming. That is why we are a country that God bless, but we cannot feed ourselves. We rely on importation of food items. If the government says, okay, let us make do with what we have, do you even have enough to go around a population of an approximate 200 point something million? So when you talk about palliative, you know, the APC, what do you call it, BC and the Kolapo, they are just playing to the God gallery. Yes, they are just playing to the guy because they have to defend their principle. But my question is, what about the Adeleke that came in as a governor and made all the promises? You know my happiness in all the southwestern states and some of the northeastern states is that when you're a governor, you're not sitting on 2 legs. They can vote you out at any time. It does not matter whether the power of incumbency plays no role.
And they know, Adeleke knows it.
Because they are more politically aware.
They are not politically aware. And the people, immediately you assume office, the people have started to, you know, checkmate you, to assess your developmental styles. And they want to see what you have on the card. So what I want APC to do is, instead of following the Nigerian federal government talking about palliative and all that, and look at the state is still, okay, even if that palliative is coming, why keeping it? As it comes, people are hungry. Human being eats at least 3 square meals a day, is it not? If these things are coming, why not share it? The local governments are there. If you don't want to use the National Orientation Agency to share it, you have the Emergency Management Agency. Is it humanitarian and the disaster? You can use them to channel this, and as it's coming, if they have started making arrangements since the federal government said this, and the state has already taken it to cognizance or have to share it, according to how many local governments, APC will not be pointing accusing finger at the governor and the PDP. So they did not do their due diligence. Right. And now, what do you call it? Adeleke, who had assumed that saddle, who is coming from a bourgeois family, what does he want? What is his interest in dipping his hand or, you know, trying to conserve a larger chunk of whatever comes? And they are not one of the states in Nigeria that will say they have abundant natural resources. Their human capital development is nothing to write about. Is their pride of place is education. So what has he done? Which sectors does he want to touch? And let APC in Ondo State go and check the manifesto of PDP. And the how many point agenda, you know, anybody in Nigeria that is coming is not the party manifesto, he has his own personal agenda. That's why I tell you that politics in Nigeria is about meism. Because let them ask him his own 8 points, or 7 points, or 2-point agenda. Then let them begin to use that to remind the people of Ondo State that look at the man that said that he has everything to take care of himself. And he has only come, like the chairman of PDP, BC, and his commissioner of information has said that the people, look at the language of the Nigerian politicians. Anytime they come and they say, God has told us. And now his lieutenants are telling the people of Ondo State that they mandated him. They mandated the governor. The people now spoke in unison and said, the governor, this is what we want. And what has he done in those sectors that they mentioned, maybe right. in their manifesto or in the governor's personal agenda in how he will govern the state? So they should check themselves and let him forget that if after sharing the federal government palliative, let him go and look into the agricultural and health sector and let the people have life. And let there be a trademark that after this tenure, because I don't see him coming back. Right. I am telling you the truth. With what we have seen played out within these 2 years of his administration, I know that the people of Ondo State, those who came out on the Osun State, who came out on the streets to fight for him, will be licking their wounds. And I know that in the next election, the people will teach him a lesson that he will not forget.
All right. Some All Progressive Congress governorship aspirants in Ondo State have passed a vote of no confidence on the primary election being superintended by Governor Usman Ododo of Kogi State. The APC primary election in the 203 wards in the state is to elect the party's flag bearer for the November 16 governorship election. Addressing newsmen on Saturday in Akure, the aspirant said Ododo did not follow the due process laid down by the national leadership of the party. Mr. Benga Edema, one of the aspirants, frowned at the delay in the release of electoral materials meant for the primary. According to Edema, as of 10 a.m., electoral materials had not been released, contrary to the resolution made during a stakeholders meeting on Friday. He said, "As I am speaking to you at 10 a.m., no electoral materials have been distributed. We have been here with others before 7 a.m. because the secretary of the committee, Senator Ovie Omoegege, told us during the stakeholders meeting that the materials will be distributed to the electoral officers at the Bond Hotel, Akure. He told us that the accreditation will start between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. and that voting will commence by 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. But what we are hearing now is that the election has been concluded and the results announced." In a swift reaction, Ododo said electoral materials have been distributed to Ondo North and Ondo South senatorial districts. He added that materials has also been delivered at the Ondo Central District, promising that all grievances would be looked into. What do you make of this development in Ondo State?
The drama continues. You know, Nigerian political scene is a stage where all politicians come to, you know, show their character, show their personality, and the integrity of whom they are plays out.
But then, Mr. Gochku, you would wonder, didn't APC learn their lessons from Edo State? What happened with Governor Uzodinma of Imo State and how that election was cancelled and the Hope Uzodinma was replaced and there was a rerun? You would wonder, didn't APC learn from that debacle? Why is the same thing repeating itself in Ondo State?
Well, I was to come to that. What APC seems like a party that have not really gotten her acts together once it comes to managing internal party crisis. I can tell you this for free. This NEC meeting that PDP conducted, you know, that the whole world was standing still. You know, every political enlightened Nigerian, an average politically enlightened Nigerian was waiting for the outcome. And APC themselves were waiting by the wings to, you know, welcome those who will be aggrieved. But PDP over time has shown character and, you know, and maturity in handling internal party crisis, because there is one decision you will take, it will see to the end of the political party, but they have a way of navigating, you know, living on borrowed peace. That is what is happening in PDP today. So APC have not really learned, you know, they hurriedly put themselves, they were strange bedfellows that came together to you know, form one quorum. And it's playing out because everybody have their own ideology, everybody is coming with their own intention, everybody is coming with their own mindset of what is on the table for me. And you know, politics in Nigeria and how nature has made it, your intention is always abiding, even if when you hide it. You know, APC came to, you know, grab power. They didn't come for governance. They said we want to wrestle power. So after making those kind of sagacious statements, it's difficult for you to, there is power in the spoken word, as you are meant to know. And that is what is playing out. So they have not really changed. Look at in a space of 5 years, you know, the APC change. The other one, you say next level, and the other. You know, they are still in that confused state that what happened in Ondo State did not, in Edo State, did not give them a leeway to look at how to manage this particular one that has just come, this particular primary that has just come. If they cannot manage party primaries, what will they be able to manage?
Yeah, that was the comeback PDP had for them over this election.
Yes.
PDP came out to mock them and said that if they cannot manage their party primaries, how
do we go to the major field for a mega rally and games? You know, a house that is divided will always find no matter the architect that builds it, that drew that plan, it will be, the foundation will be faulty. So at the end of the day, what is the pedigree and the integrity of Ododo? What is the when you now line up the APC leaders, this is what APC did to Yaya Bello that got him into trouble. When you give an Igbo dictum said that when you give a child what is bigger than him, you say, uncle, whom did you say I should give this thing to? Because what you have given him is bigger than him. Yaya Bello, who now calls himself the white lion. The white lion, we know white as when the day breaks, white shines. But the white is hiding now. That is it. You are no longer a lion. You are now hiding within the sheep. The sheep, you were supposed, even only your appearance and your voice supposed to scare the sheep away. But you're now hiding within the sheep. You're no longer a lion. So what are we saying? What is even in Kogi State political map, we know how Yaya Bello emerged. All of us are alive to that. Then, during the administration of Yaya Bello, who is Ododo? Has Ododo been heard in the state level that somebody who has the capacity and who has integrity to win a local government election in his own local government, where he was coming from? Is he somebody that the world leaders will look at and vote him and say, go for a local government chairmanship election? In the state level, this is what they are talking about, this godfatherism. Because everybody that is in that seat wants somebody that will be doing their bidding, that will cover their tracks. There is no other intention. They don't want how the people will be governed. They know that they have looted the treasury dry, and they want somebody that will not go ahead and look into their past. This is what we see. So Dodo, whom the APC National Working Committee, who is just a governor, if it's in the Senate, okay, why don't the party hierarchy do what the senators do and say that this is a high-ranking senator? You know, the Senate, they have ranks. According to the years you have spent, you learn through the rules. Ododo have not spent up to 1 year in office. What are what is his political antecedents? What is the experience he has garnered as a governor? Even at the time he has taken up the mantle of leadership in Kogi State, has he even sat down to even talk about how the state will be governed, how he, Dodo, want to govern the state, or his the battle of the man who put in there, thinking on how to shield him, and you are giving him a national assignment of such magnitude? Finally, on this, I want to, make a passionate appeal to parties. If primaries are coming, why not lead those state governors? If you say state governors must be there, why not say they are there only as observers? Then parties, pick technocrats, pick people outside the political party if you want a level playing ground. There are a lot of civil servants, there are a lot of retired judges, there are a lot of people with unquestionable and impeccable integrity in Nigeria that you put 3-4 of them in that committee, they will go and deliver. Or if worse come to worse, do it electronically. Hence is by delegate, a delegate of how many people? Do it electronically, let everybody be captured electronically, and let the vote be done. But because from ab initio, Nigerian elections are shrouded in secrecy and who they have decided to give it to, that is where all these problems are coming. All these problems are coming here because they have already somebody in mind. Why will you go and declare a result? Why would you go and give the timetable of the primaries and you are bridging the process you have put in place, shooting yourself on the foot? What happened to Uzodimma? I know that, you know, in Nigerian politics, if you are not the anointed one, no matter what you do, it will not fly. At the end of the day, what will happen is that they will call you in Abuja and settle you. And if you don't want, now you go lose. So you have nothing to do other than to do what? To accept whatever position they have given you and allow life to continue. So they will tell you, oh, you are still young. And you have your days are still coming. That is, they will say, okay, you get this one get this, because you have expended money for campaign and all that, and we'll compensate you, and so be it. We continue in that trajectory, and that's why we are not growing. Every year, this particular scenario plays out. So it is still a long way for Nigeria. All those things, we don't hear them in overseas. We don't hear them in Senate climes. We are ordinary primary. Will be causing, there will be a supplementary. You know, since INEC brought about supplementary during Jaga time, Jiga introduced supplementary from nowhere. That particular syndrome emerged, and it has remained. Anything that comes into Nigeria, it's always difficult for it to die down.
All right. Still on Ondo state politics, following the late arrival of materials and personnel to 13 wards in Okitipupa Council area of Ondo State, the All Progressive Congress Governorship Primary Election Committee has rescheduled the exercise for Sunday, April 21. Recall that the party held the governorship primary election across the 203 wards in the state on Saturday, April 20. 16 governorship aspirants participated in the exercise conducted by a 7-member committee headed by the Kogi State Governor, Usman Ododo. A statement issued by the chairman of the Ondo Primary Election Committee, Alhaji Ahmed Ododo in Akure, said that the primary in the council area was rescheduled following the following logistics reasons. According to him, having received reports of the primary election from the 203 wards in the 18 local government areas of Ondo State, the Primary Election Committee has decided that election will be conducted in all the 13 wards of Okitipupa local government with total validated registered members of 9,515. According to him, this is because of validated reports that the exercise did not hold in the local government due to late arrival of materials and personnel as a result of logistical challenges. Election in Okitipupa local government shall be conducted 12 noon on Sunday, 21st April 2024. Ododo added that the final collation of results will be done thereafter. Now, Mr. Gochukwu, in Okitipupa local government yesterday, their election was marred with violence. In fact, it was so violent that most of the persons that wanted to vote had to take to their heels. Yes. And when Usman Ododo, the Governor Usman Ododo, was addressing the reasons why
the election should be rescheduled,
was rescheduled to today, he did not acknowledge that there was violence in Okitipupa. Instead, he said there were no elections because of late arrival of logistics and personnel. That they are different, though that was also part of the issue. And do not forget that the governorship aspirants that passed a vote of no confidence on him, they were of the opinion that while they were waiting for the election materials, they heard that election has been concluded and results announced. Now the question is, if Governor Ododo, being the chairman of the primaries electoral committee, came out to announce the results, how come he's conducting another elections today? And where he is conducting elections today, he never acknowledged that there was violence in that local government yesterday. What do you make of the whole drama going on? Is there any undertone to this?
I told you that in Nigeria, if you are anointed, if you are the one that has been anointed to serve or to go for them, they will find every other means to deliver you. They call it delivery. Then in Okitikwakwa and Okitikwakwa, we know it as a flashpoint in every election. So for his name to rear his head in this scenario is not surprising. But the question you asked, I'll ask a rhetorical question. When did Nigeria started valuing the loss of human life, and if violence happened and it didn't get to the high and mighty, it's assumed that nothing happened. You know, it's assumed that nothing. This is the country where people will come out under rain and sun to vote somebody into office, and at the end of the day, you have no channel. You have no means of questioning the person, or the person coming back to you to ask you what is even your problem, so that we deal with that problem instead of the person or his lieutenants have in mind of the project they want to execute. This is the problem. And I asked a question in the flip over conversation we had. I said, the person of Dodo, what is his antecedents? What is his integrity? And what is capacity? See, you don't give what you don't have. It's a give and take something here. So which process produced Dodo in his primaries? That's a game you are familiar with. Which process produced him as a governor, the present governor of Kogi State? So if somebody who is not clothed in integrity, whose only meetings are meetings of how to manipulate and how to cut corners and get what you want, and you put him into on the saddle of a very important party national assignment like this, what do you expect? So he knew. Okay, let me ask this rhetorical question on national television. While declaring the result, did he not take cognizance that Okitikwakwa local government have not submitted either a report that their election did not hold for so reason, or there was no vote from that particular area as the chairman of that committee? If he had known this, he wouldn't have gone ahead to announce the results. Because why the sudden change of mind and language in orchestrating non-existing supplementary party primary is not local government election in any state. Is APC governorship candidate to choose a flag bearer that you are declaring inconclusive? This is laughable. This should not be heard on the international space. But anything can happen in Nigeria, and Nigerians can take it hook, line, and sinker, and as if nothing happened. Look, if not for the protests of the other 15 aspirants, and you know that this is an interesting state.
Yes.
They should have put somebody who is more matured, who is more charismatic, and who can manage whatever crisis that is coming. Who can call this guy? It is even the Omar Gege, the former APC, should have been there, in my own opinion. He's more of a politician. He has seen it all. He's more like playing a fatherly role to those people who are aspiring, because he has been the number 5th citizen of this country, and he has also flown the flag of APC in the last general election in Delta State. He is more suitable and he is more poised to handle that particular issue. This is what we are saying, that this party hierarchy should be thinking for the interest of the... Okay, look at now, they have a lot of crises in their hands, but this crisis is very, very avoidable. Is it not? It's avoidable. If they have used
the person of, he will call those aspirants. Because don't forget that what they are holding now against the APC is because Omar Gege was the person that addressed them and said that accreditation starts by this time and ends by this time, and the materials will move by 7, and the accreditation starts by 10 and ends by 1. Voting starts by 1 and ends by 2 p.m. And while they were still waiting for materials to arrive, they had that they favored candidate. You know, Nigerians and the Nigerian political circle, they know the way of disenfranchising you if they don't want to. So now, taking it back home, this particular Dodo of Kogi State, who has announced supplementary elections, and somebody is already leading, who has been declared, and we are talking about they are fighting for 9,515 votes. Who is more positioned positively, and who is gaining from all these scenarios that has played out, shrouded in confusion and in secrecy, just to do the bidding of one man. So APC should not forget that they are battling with people that are embittered. These 16 aspirants, especially that former Commissioner of Finance that resigned from that cabinet, that was the commissioner while Rotimi Akeredolu was alive, and who has come out all out to challenge Ayedetiwa, they should be wary. And the APC cannot manage the fallout that will come out from the anger of 15, and is not an even number. So some of PDP and some other small parties will be waiting in the wings, because there is this ego that exists among politicians, as he has tested the waters of wanting to be a flag bearer. Even if he's a flag bearer in one mushroom party, he'll be going for meeting. Any meeting INEC calls for governorship candidates, he'll be there. You had the name of Jack Risch. What gave the scenario in Port Harcourt, what gave credence and all the hula cries we heard about his unfortunate arrest was because they were not talking about him as a former militant. They are not talking about him as a leader of his people, but they are saying that if this person had a questionable character, why did INEC clear him to be a flag bearer of a political party? You see that you can't take him to court. You can't try him with any of the allegations that the security agencies were laying against him, because this person, his name was on the ballot. He has presented his credentials to INEC, and being a former flag bearer of a political party, a registered political party in Nigeria, you know what that means? It's huge. It lifts your profile. That is what happened. Maybe the military did not know this, that it will result to that. So any of them who has ego will go and hibernate with any other political, with his own foot soldiers. And PDP is intact, waiting by the wings. So APC in Ondo State should play by wisdom.
All right. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at Kano State and the crisis locking in Kano State with the drama around Ganduje. Do not go away.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human
One day, they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money we put in the bank. There are POS operators. She said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act.
Thank you for staying with us. The crisis rocking the All Progressive Congress in Kano State has taken a new twist as new ward executives emerged from Ganduje's ward, issued fresh suspension on acting national chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. The new group from Ganduje's ward, Dawakin Tofa local government area of the state, claims to be the legitimate ward executives legally and validly elected on July 31, 2021. Addressing journalists in Kano on Sunday, Secretary of Ganduje Ward, Jafar Adamu Ganduje, who spoke on behalf of 11 other executive members, explained the suspension of former governor of Kano is stated on allegation of anti-party activities exhibited by Ganduje, which led to division and failure of the party during the last election. Adamu, who is Ganduje's nephew, also accused the APC chairman of igniting conflict of interest that led to two factional escorts in the ward. Therefore brought the party to disrepute in the mind of the public. The secretary equally alleged that the embattled APC national chairman has not been paying his statutory party dues. Adamu said, "We are the authentic executives of Ganduje Ward, and we have passed a vote of no confidence and imposed a new suspension on Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje for a series of reasons. First, we have suspended Dr. Ganduje's membership for creating internal conflict among party members at the ward level. Another major reason why the authentic executives resolved to suspend Ganduje is the issue of anti-party activities he generated during the 2023 elections, which resulted to the party's failure in the state." Adamu emphasized that these two factions claiming to be ESCO from Ganduje Ward are fake and impostors orchestrated by Dr. Ganduje and other bad elements in the party. Adamu reiterated that the real Ganduje Ward leaders would not hesitate to institute legal actions against the two factions earlier addressed the media claiming to be ward escorts. Mr. Gochukwu, a lot of plot twists with respect to Kano State, APC, Imbroglio, Ganduje's suspension. But I want to know your thoughts on this whole debacle going on. What do you make of this? So now, how many factions do we have as state ward escorts? all right.
You know, this is really interesting. These are very, very interesting times
in Kano State.
In Kano State, because you know, this reminds those who think they are big-time politicians that the young shall grow. That Nigerian youths that were taunted as being lazy are now waking up to their responsibilities. You remember what, after signing the not too young to run bill into law, you know, we didn't hear it 2023 general election. Nobody made mention of that not too young to run, probably because of the mass support and the, you know, the organic support that P2B and Obedience came up with. So everybody seems to align, and you know, many people stepped down their interests, and many people galvanized support. So nobody had it. But today, as you were going through it, this particular expose, I remembered not too young to run bill after seeing the pictures of those you know, young men who are from Ganduje wards. You know, it's very interesting. I am elated. I'm very happy to see that the youths are taking the bull by the horn. Let them go to Abuja and you know, stay in their AC furnished room, being so lavishly cared for with the taxpayers' money, why they leave us to wallow in penury. Then we are now calling their attentions back to where it all started. You know, I will not always forget to make mention of Nyesom Wike.
because he understands this politics. You know, once you leave out oiling of your grassroots, that is why anywhere he is, you see how he's been taking people from one position to another, and once he puts this person out here, he puts another person, he makes sure that, you know, that organogram is being recycled, and the people are happy, you know, doing what they are doing, and knowing that they are not stagnant and they are not forgotten. But the Ganduje, or the way, you know, the northern tradition is, once the elder speaks, or once one person speaks, it trickles down. Unlike in our own zone here, where you can even question the person and say, what is in it for us? So they feel that them, you know, educating their children in one of the best schools in the world, and leaving those youths, you know, to run around the market square and the streams in the village, that they will not have a thinking faculty. And the Ganduje lost touch with reality, forgetting that he is dealing with a politician of great capacity, and a politician that is very crafty in his, that thinks miles away ahead of him, in the person of Rabiu Umar Kwankwaso, the leader of Kwankwasia movement, who understands this politics and who is the godfather of Kanu politics as it stands today. And believe you me, anybody that is coming as a Nigerian president must pay allegiance to him, because Kanu, nobody who comes to rule Nigeria jokes with the Kanu vote, because the vote is in block, and they know that how they have managed Kanu, that they don't have this crisis that divide them like we have in Borno State and the other states, that you have IDPs and all that. It's what still beats my imagination up to today. No matter the political, there is always a political tension. There's always a heated political, what do you call it, politically motivated discussions and discourse going on in Kano State every day because of the Kwankwasia movement. Because any other person who is seen outside the Kwankwasia movement is seen as an opposition, even when you are in the same party with that particular person. I don't know if you understand the scenario. That is why anybody that is...
It's like a cult.
Yes. That even when you are not a member of that and you are in the same political party with them, you are a suspect.
If you are not a Kwankwasia.
If you are not a Kwankwasia. That is the way it is. Because the Kwankwasia, though, is with one voice. No matter where they are identifiable. So, and when you're dealing with such a man, you cannot go to sleep. Ganduje came, of course, I see him that his handlers are not up to speed with the reality, because he's not an orator. He's not somebody who is so charismatic. You can't even fall in love with him naturally as a person. You know, there is a politician you will see, even the way he moves, the charismatic nature of the body language will make you, you know, align. And even when he's telling you a lie, you are like, no, this man, at least this man is approachable. But Ganduje is not in that class. You know, it's his nature. So, when you come to the politics that is playing out, which I cannot totally remove the hand of the Kwankwasia movement in it, because he has left for Abuja. He has forgotten that he has a man that is a dribbler that can tackle him from any position that he wishes to play from. And that is what is happening. Look at how many, what do you call it, how many world ESCO that has emerged.
Three factions.
And this particular person now is what happened in Shakespeare, U2 Brutus. This is his own brother. That is his nephew. Yes, it's his brother. Forget about the Oyibo coining of a nephew, cousin, is his blood brother. He cannot marry the sister of this person. And this particular Ganduje of a boy cannot marry Ganduje's daughter. So this is Africa. We are all bloodily related up to the 4th generation. So if this particular young man has come out and said, we are the authentic voice of the Ganduje world, and even threatened the legal action against the 2 earlier factions, the first one who suspended and the ones who countered the suspension. You know, that's the one in the middle now, the second layer of those
the
who
second
are...
faction,
Yes, the second that countered.
The thing is, what does this portend for Ganduje? What does it portend for his future?
No, Ganduje is a gunner. I told you last time we started, I told you that, you know, what is the image?
You know, the APC National Working Committee supported the second faction.
No, forget about it. So politicians in Nigeria, they say one thing today. You'll be drinking tea with them here. The next minute, the game has changed. Because when Bola Tinubu is not comfortable with what he's seeing, when the NWC people, and when particularly the deputy national chairman from his own place, when that person now is really eager to put fuel inside the fire, you will see that the game will change. Of course, there have been APC did not handle it the way it ought to. Because firstly, you know what they would have done? Immediately that announcement was done, they would have quickly called the remaining ESCO members that did not align with that first group that suspended him. You people had a meeting, what happened? Even if it's one dissenting voice, they will ask what transpired in the meeting. What was the minute of this meeting? How did this suspension call arose? You now listen to the person and you now move further and try to call the attention of the other. But what did APC Kanu do? See, you know why this politics, I'm beginning to fall in love with it, is because of the powers that are inherent in the world level. You know, when PDP was immersed in this kind of crisis, those who, you know, orchestrated the fall of Yochi Ayo and Secondus in the person of Nyesom Wike, they went to the grassroots. And once you are in love with them, they do your bidding. When you oil them, in Nigeria, when we talk about oiling, we talk about you disburse funds because you have enough to disburse. It's not only when it's delegation, is you remember them, they change one of the motorcycle bike they are riding, but you are swimming in an SUV of 300 million.
All right.
So this is it. The APC did not handle it well. They now went to the local government level. Local government level chairman or the ESCO, they are not the people that called for election. Remember that what election is being called from the national. Local government election is being called from national. There are delegates. State elections is being called. So how come they made that mistake of you see what we say of playing to the gallery? You want to play the good ball, but they have spoiled this. They have spoiled the soup. Immediately, the local government went and they made that announcement. State said they have backed. They didn't say we have suspended. They said they are backing. So what is left? Those people went to court. And today, they quickly gathered 2 or 3 people who came and made a counter announcement. What are you doing? You are portraying Gandhi. You are building up that anthill is becoming a mountain. And it's a mountain because it's within the law court. I told you that Ganduje must step aside. Ganduje must go. Ganduje must have his days with the court. Right. He must do that, and before he comes out of it, APC will not be moving without a national chairman. This is it, because the governors will come to play their role, and thanks goodness, he has no governor from his state who will step in for him and say, let us hold on. You know that who you listen to in Nigeria is the person with the deepest pockets, and who is willing to dole out and do whatever it takes. So Ganduje is already a gunner.
Okay.
As it concerns the chairmanship of
APC.
APC. We are looking out for a new chairman. Somebody has already, this morning, somebody has already presented himself saying, I'm asking a rhetorical question. He's asking himself, am I the chairman of APC? So the days ahead is very, very interesting.
The founder of the new Nigeria People's Party, Dr. Boniface Anyebonam, has said that the move by Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso and the Kwankwasia movement to hijack the party structure was a betrayal of trust. Speaking at a press conference in Lagos on Friday, Dr. Anyebonam said he gave Kwankwaso the NNPP platform to achieve his political ambition of becoming Nigeria's president on a platter of gold. He noted that he single-handedly registered and nurtured NNPP from 2002 until 2022, when Kwankwaso and his team approached him to fly the flag of the party in the 2023 election. According to him, Buba Galadima led a delegation including Senator Suleiman Honkuyi and Professor Sam Angai to my country home in Anambra to plead for us to accept Kwankwaso in NNPP. After the talks, I placed a call to Kwankwaso, and after asking him questions about his intentions for Nigeria, I offered him the platform of NNPP as the sole candidate of the party. I want to believe so because the National Working Committee has been directly involved in the day-to-day activities of the party under the leadership of the national chairman. So I kept quiet, but now, just last week, I was shocked to see Senator Kwankwaso on a live television displaying a new logo for NNPP, displaying a new flag for the party. This underscores mutilation of the constitution of the party. Before this time, I was having this feeling that his body language seems to be supporting what is going on. But for him to come openly on a live television program, then I want to believe something is wrong. And if I keep quiet, it is not for the interest of the party, and that is the essence of this gathering, Anyebonam explained. According to him, he funded the party for 22 years, and Kwankwaso wanted to hijack it, even when he's not a member of the board of trustees or the leader of the party. Dr. Anyebonam explained that he founded NNPP after he founded the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Workers, Freight Forwarders. Hence, NAGAF is the parent body of NNPP. He recalled that Kwankwaso and others were expelled from the party for anti-party activities, but as a life member of the board with inherent powers, he would grant Kwankwaso pardon if he purged himself of what he is doing. The Kangaroo Convention held even when there was a court order stopping it. It's null and void because a federal high court in Abuja yesterday ruled that NNPP issue. It's an internal crisis and is therefore unjustificable. This means that the issues can only be settled using the Constitution. However, we are ready to pursue the interpretation of the Constitution up to the Supreme Court, he added. Now, Mr. Ugochukwu, what do you make of the statement by the founder of NNPP, Dr. Anyebonam, alleging that Kwankwaso has hijacked the party, NNPP?
First of all, I want to say that it is no longer alleged. You can't say it's alleged. Hence, they have had their national convention as organized by Kwankwaso and his own faction. So I want to tell you here that Anyebonam has already been docile for a long time. Anyebonam has been docile for a very long time. So if he has spoken out immediately after the 2023 general elections, this issue came up. And after some meetings, the thing died down. I thought he would have continued. They have known that there is no smoke without fire. So he should have pursued it. But coming now, when they have gone very far and when they have, positioned themselves in the party, it's really not going to be easy. And you are dealing with somebody who has more capacity than you,
who has more national clout than you, and all that. So for Kwankwaso and Kwankwasia's movement to hibernate with an MPP, you know, the North has always, even before the 1960 in Nigeria, they have always have this MPN, an MPP. This NMPP had come either in the First or Second Republic, this particular party's name, but in a different, the acronym has come before, but it was an MPP. So this other party, AMPP, and they have APP. So the North had already had that kind of acronym that goes for them. And that is why I think that Kwankwaso went, after looking at other parties, I'm not sure it's about the party manifesto and all that, but because of the name is sellable to his people, that particular name is sellable to his people as a northern acronym. So he went to, pinch tent with them. But having been so docile on the path of Anebunam, I think he did himself a lot of disservice. And even the people that we are hearing today, the National Freight Forwarders, that are the parent body, just like we have LP and we have NLC as their parent body. This is the first time I'm getting to know that. So he should go to the parent body, and you know that he did not fund the party or fund it himself. It might be his brainchild, but he has those who funded it, and they have the agreement, and they met the standard in CAC and also in INEC. You know, they always register with all these governmental agencies. So let us know at the end of the day, if they go, they have their days in court, let them know who is signatory to the registration. And if the agreement he had with Kwankwaso, is it a verbal or were they written documents? No, even if there is a phone call on that, he sent delegates. And after he accepted, he said he called him to find out whether he's the person that sent these people and what his intentions are. They must have met. He can't give his party to somebody by proxy. He can't do that. So he must have sat with Kwankwaso as the national. He is the leader of the party. He is the founder of the party. And today, remember that the last convention, this one that he said that a court had already stopped, you know, they said that Kwankwaso is the national